In Lesson 3.4, our major focus area is on being able to factor polynomials. So what we've been focusing on in the first couple of lessons in the class is multiplying polynomials together. Now we're going to go in the reverse order. We're going to give you what the answer would have been had we multiplied some polynomials together, and we're going to ask you to figure out what were those polynomials that we multiplied in order to get that answer. So that's what I mean by saying that we're focusing on going in the opposite direction. We have the answer, we want to go back to what it was that we multiplied together. So here in this first set of examples, we're asked to determine if the factoring that has been done is completely factored. So did we make sure we factored out what we call is the greatest common factor? And you're going to see me refer to that as the GCF. So before I tackle this question, I'm going to pause a moment and just talk about, okay, what are factors? So if I have two numbers, say the number 6 and the number 8, and I ask you, what is the greatest common factor? What I'm basically asking is, what is the largest number that divides evenly into both the number 6 and the number 8? And clearly, the GCF is 2, because 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. So that's the greatest common factor. Now, we might be looking at maybe two numbers like 12 and 18. Well, 12 and 18 have several common factors. They both divide evenly by 2. They both divide evenly by 3. They both divide evenly by 6. But that's all that they have in common. So the GCF, the one that is the greatest that divides evenly into both of them, is 6. Now it becomes more interesting when we add in some variables. So say, for instance, that we have this problem where we're looking at the two monomials, 4m cubed and 8m to the 4th n. First, if we start with their coefficients, we notice that they are 4 and 8. The greatest common factor of 4 and 8 is the number 4. They're also both divisible by 2, but that's not the largest of all numbers that divides into 4 and 8. The largest is 4. Then we notice that each of them has an m. Well, the first term has an m to the 3rd power. The second term has an m to the 4th power. The greatest common factor will be the smallest exponent on their common variables. So in this case, the smallest exponent on their common variable, m, is m cubed. That's why the greatest common factor here would be 4m cubed. Notice n is not a part of the greatest common factor because the first term doesn't have an n, but the second term does. And so they have to have it in common in order for it to be a part of the greatest common factor. So is this factored completely? No. They only pulled out a 4m squared. They should have pulled out a 4m cubed.